boy band.
Coming up on Studio 3 Live, it's Jackie Benson.
I come from a musical family, so my dad was a professional musician for 40 plus years in Austin. Got to see him lead a band. When I got a little bit older, he would let me sit in on keyboards. It was just right in front of my face my whole life.
Funding for Studio 3 Live is provided by
Prairie Meadows Racetrack and Casino, where employees from over 20 countries speak over 20 languages, is committed to enriching the lives of all Iowans by funding strong communities and diverse cultural organizations. Learn more at prairiemeadows.com. .com.
No, that's not what I want. Why can't I hear any music? Okay, this. Oh, that's why. No, that's this. Why wasn't there any music? Oh, did I not start it? Maybe that's it. Sheesh. Okay, go to Products, Edit Parlone. Products, Categories. Okay. It's telling me to do something that I don't see. Go to Products, Edit Parlone. Go to Products. It's right here. Products. Edit Parlone. Okay, stop. Go to Products, Edit Parlone. Okay, edit, right? On the right side, you'll see product categories. Click Update. Okay, so now I don't know how to get back to where it has the goddamn fucking whatever. So coming here, where are the it's called commerce. Okay, so that's what that is. All right. Set up payments.
wake me up in the new light of the morning. My soul deserves someone to love in the new light of the morning. Wake me up, wake me up, wake me up, wake me up in the new light of the morning. In the new light of the morning. It'll be alright in the morning. Wake me up, wake me up, wake me up, wake me up. I cannot let you sleep. Wake me up, wake me up, wake me up, wake me up. I cannot let you sleep. I know this dance, taking this chance. Damned if we do, damned if we don't. Trust sets us free. I need honesty, even when it frightens me. Oh, it frightens me. It seems impossible, you and I. Our worlds will change as soon as we try, yeah. Inside, on to the next. Right or die. Keep on, keep on. Sing it, ooh, yeah, yeah. Keep on, keep on. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Keep on, keep on. My body with his arms around me makes me feel this way, feel this way. Get out myself, my fire's burning, I can't stay away. Stay away. Now we're here, there is no turning back. No, no. If it's real, love me and make it last. Oh yeah, I'm inside. On to the next. Right or die. Keep on, keep on. Sing it, ooh, yeah, 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 yeah. Keep on, keep on. Feel it, ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Keep on, keep on. Until I find someone, find someone, find someone to love. I will not settle for anything but love. On to the next. loves me from head to toe. Showed me what it is to love. He was sent from heaven above. When I looked into his eyes, our past and futures collide. Follow each other wherever we go. I got a man who loves me so. Ooh, yeah, yeah, Well, I rolled and it tumbled, cried the whole day through. Well, I rolled and it tumbled, cried the whole day through. Need me to find another man who loves me the way you do. Well, I'm searching far and wide, trying to hide my tears. Well, I'm searching far and wide, trying to hide my fears. Yeah. Need me to find another man who loves me the way you did. When you did. When you did. When you did. Well, these tears that I cry almost drown my soul. Shoot, shoot. Well, these tears that I cry almost drown my soul. Shoot, shoot. Need me to find another way, a way to carry your shoot, shoot. Well, these tears that I cried almost drown my soul. Shoot, shoot. Well, these tears that I cried almost drown my soul. Need me to find another way, a way to carry your on my own. Bring it down. On my own. bring it down. On my own, on my own, carry on. Don't need no man, just my guitar. Don't need no man, just my guitar. On my own, on my own. Yeah, here we go. On my own. Can I take this from me? I will always be free. I already broke my chains. Can I take this from me? I will always be free. I already changed my name. Never gonna close my eyes. Never gonna waste my time. Never gonna say die. Never gonna say die. Never gonna close my eyes. Never gonna waste my time. Never gonna say die. Never gonna say die. He told me he don't love me, so I will roll up my sleeves and I will do it myself. I don't wait for anybody, and I know that nothing is free, so I'm gonna prove my worth. Never gonna close my eyes. Never gonna waste my time. Never gonna say die. Never gonna say die. Never gonna close my eyes. Never gonna waste my time. Never gonna say die. Never gonna say die. Never gonna close my eyes. Never gonna waste my time. Never gonna say die. Never gonna say die. Never gonna close my eyes. Never gonna waste my time. Never gonna say die. Never gonna close my eyes. Never gonna waste my time. Never gonna say die. Never gonna say die. Say die. Never gonna say die. Never gonna say die. Die. I'm gonna fix this wardrobe thing. I have a lot of respect for Stevie Nicks because she very smoothly changes her wardrobe, and now I realize how difficult that is. Double shout out to Stevie Nicks. I am the young, I'm a wardrobe grasshopper. And I'm gonna get it. This song is called Witchcraft. I don't praise your God. I praise the earth and the sky and the moon. I don't follow time. I follow waves of the ocean of my womb. What I do to you is witchcraft. And it's up to you. Resist that. to be devoured. Waiting patiently for things to change. Well, now change has come. Prepare for the wave. What I do to you in witchcraft, and it's up to you. Resist that. What I do to you in witchcraft, and it's up to you. There's a new day coming. Oh my, how we prayed. There's a new wave coming. Don't get swept away. There's a new day coming. Oh my, how we prayed. There's a new wave coming. Don't get swept away. There's a new day coming. Oh my, how we prayed. There's a new wave coming. Don't get swept away. There's a new day coming. Oh my, how we pray. There's a new wave coming. Don't get swept away. What I do to you in witchcraft, and it's up to you.
All right, so I've been live for 37 minutes, and you're the first person to show up. So please say hello.
And it's up to you.
Hello. Hello out there. YouTube says you're watching, so I would love it for you to say hi. Hi, can you say hi to me? Hello, somebody out there. Somebody's watching and you're not saying hello, so you must be a troll. Right?
Hello?
Hey, shit. Sorry, did I wake you up?
Honestly, what the hell? Say
Gosh,
hi.
It's so early. It's like 9 o'clock. Our sleep schedules never line up.
No, I actually haven't been to
It's so
bed. I went
frustrating
to
to have
the
people that are
Apollo.
just sitting
You should see
in
me
there
go, go,
lurking.
go.
I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care if you were lurking if I had.
Yeah, I know you. I know you. You're always the one
500
go, go, go,
people
and I'm
watching.
go, going in the other direction.
But you're the only one here.
You're just
You're the only one. And you're not even like, do you not know me? Are we not friends?
You're in the studio, aren't you?
I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm in the studio, of course.
Insane.
It's like you spend your
Whatever.
whole life here.
All right, so it is what it is. It'll be what it'll be. It was what it was. I think what I'm going to do is switch my shenanigans and with Bill's video that he put out. It's going to be very long and tedious. Ugh. You're still not saying hello.
refraction. Um, how it is.
Oh my God, you're still here. Whatever, man.
Misrepresented by those who counter individuals who believe that the Earth is flat based on their observations. They claim that we reject the science, the physics of refraction, and because we're refraction deniers or from its principle deniers or denier, we are wrong and they are right because they understand refraction. Well, who are they? I don't believe we're arguing or debating against scientists or people who are representing the science correctly, the physics. So let's just do some quick.
All right. So what I'm going to do just real quick is to put that on pause and then see what happens with my volume just real quick. All right. So what I'm going to do just real quick is to. All right. So I have the screen frozen right here. And this is an appropriate division of being able to discuss how our vision works in general. This is your field of view. This is you out in the middle of the ocean, or this is you out in the middle of the desert, and there is nothing. So you just have land, 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 land of the horizon, and then sky, 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 right? How green is the sky in your world? This point right here, okay? This point right here is infinity. Don't have a shit fit conniption over the fact that I'm appealing to something that is a metaphysical concept, because that's exactly what they do with the distance to the stars. It's infinitely distant. It doesn't have to have any distance. Zero. It's just a position in the sky by degrees. There's no miles. You don't have to have miles. All right. If you were the first person viewer here and you were watching someone walk away from you, okay? What is happening in this image right here? The cursor is going up, 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 up and away, right? This is up, up. No. This is a two-dimensional representation being now redefined by self as the division of how we see the floor and the ceiling. This is the division of your vision out into the distance. The land does not stay in your field of view forever. As long as it is, as long as the ground or the floor is closer to you, or large enough within the field of view, as far away as it can get, as long as it's big enough visually, you might be able to see it. But when it gets this far away from you, right? If this were a person walking away, this motion of going up, 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 up the photo is not up, it's away from. This is distance, okay? When you look into the distance, I'm just going to do this over and over and over again. All right. When you are looking into the distance, I'm going to try to balance this out as much as possible, right? Right there. When you look out into the distance, let's say you're the viewer from the camera, and this is the ground. Now, I have had to elevate this in a way that's unnatural, but this is the way the first person view of the earth looks. When you are standing above the earth, which means you're behind the base here, you're behind the base, you're on that side of the camera, you're looking this way, and this is the way the land looks as you go into the distance. And as it gets farther and farther away from you, it gets more and more compressed and condensed, so that you have all of these little cribbage peg holes on the streets, and you can see them having distance between them here. But as it gets farther and farther away from you, you can't see those holes any longer because of perspective. That's the way the sky and the ground operate in your field of view. This is closer to you. This up here in the sky is closer to you. It's above your head. And then as you look farther and farther away, the clouds get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, but they stay above the ground and they both go into the distance. And that is the way infinity looks. That's not curvature.
Visualizations that I found on YouTube. The first one being refraction due to waves slowing down. Okay, this would be the classic example, Snell's law. You would have your air to water, and you have a wavefront that is going to enter at an angle of incidence and leave at an angle of refraction. Now, I know immediately this community of computer programmers will get right to the point of saying that. You have individuals who are educated in ray tracing and visualizations, and we'll touch on that more, but these are the people who are going to be responding to this, or the people who cannot judge the ray tracing programs properly as far as their real world applications, or if their simulations reflect what really is going on in the real world.
First encounters a piece of glass, one side is slowed down before the other, forcing the wave front to change direction. This bending of light, whether in glass, water, or any other transparent material, is called refraction.
So we can stop this one right here. That's what refraction is.
No, sorry. Okay, first of all, I don't know what this is, Bill. What is this? Is this a computer generated image? Because then that's not refraction. That's not reality. So I don't even know what this is. Refraction due to waves slowing down. I don't understand what this is, man. So, and then he just goes, well, that's what this is.
So we can stop this one right here. That's what refraction is.
No, it's not.
So I created this a while back. Basically, we have just a line drawing of what we just witnessed in regard to refraction.
Okay, this is where I get to be a dick. The diagram here of Snell's law is not what we see, and we don't see p's and thetas and arcs and tangents and interfaces. We don't see these things, right? This is a diagram. What Bill just showed a moment ago, that wasn't nature. That wasn't like I don't get, what was that? It looked like it was a digital, because he was talking about computer design and graphics people saying such and such and thus and which, right? So I'm not really happy with this right now. Snell's law only applies per se, as far as I've gotten right now. You have two media. Here's one, water. Here's one, air. When you're looking through air, you don't have a medium. I mean, you don't have a second medium. Not only do you not have a second medium, but the genius observations that Pablo's dog has presented to the world is spectacular evidence for working these parameters out, because the science just isn't there. Regardless how much you have these appellations or these I don't know, appellant? Is that the word I'm looking for? No, I don't think so. Yeah, appellant, somebody who appeals. If you have these appeals or these, like Bill said at the beginning, that our critics say that we don't accept science. No. No. We are challenging the claims of science that you lot are simply blindly appealing to without doing any of your own research. Because if you did your own research and contacted Andrew Thomas Young and asked him the questions that I asked him, he would tell you in email, like I have in reserve, all of them, where he acts petty, where he acts petulantly, where he acts childishly, and where he then just cuts off communication because I don't just swallow what he's telling me. And he says, oh, you got to learn thetas and you got to learn ends with subtext ones and end with something. You got to learn all these little fancy. No, I don't. And then he's like, well, then I don't have any reason to talk to you anymore. And I'm like, no. I'm asking you to prove what you're claiming. He's like, learn trigonometry. And I said, no, I don't think so. So all you guys can swallow that load as much as you want, because I'm not doing it.
Now, again, as the community of computer programmers are going to put out, is that you cannot apply Snell's law, the formulas for Snell's law, to an area of medium that doesn't have hard borders. It is not fixed. You are going to have light that is going to progress into a denser medium. Again, I think I've covered this ample times. It still has to enter into a medium where the IOR, the index of optical refraction, is changing. And that will be in our atmosphere, where the times it still has to enter into a medium where the IOR, the index of optical refraction, is changing.
Who says that? I'm just being honest. Like, I've never heard these terms.
A denser medium. We're going to have light that is going to progress into a denser medium. Again, I think I've covered this ample times. It still has to enter into a medium where the IOR, the index of optical refraction.
The index of optical refraction. The index of optical refraction, right? We can't ever get to this place and find a rainbow and break down what a rainbow is. It's out there, and if you try to get to it, it goes away. So this is all conjecture in terms of what we're seeing out with regards to the distance, because this is not a swimming pool. This is not a glass of water with a pencil in it. It's not a swimming pool with a handrail going down into it and then bending away. It's not a fish in the stream that you've got to throw a spear at. Like, this is not what we're talking about. I mean, he can describe all of this stuff, but you can't ever manipulate it.
Is changing. And that will be in our atmosphere, the vertical area from space to the individual who is observing it, wherever they're observing it within our atmosphere. This path can progressively refract if the change in medium is progressively increasing. Starting out here, vacuum of space, IOR of 1, and gradually increasing all the way down to get to the value of, I believe it was 1.00003. It's close around there, but it does change over distance. So distributing that change over a path would require the use of iconical equation, I believe it's called. It's a calculus expansion off of Fermat's principle of least time. The path that light takes in the least amount of time in order to get to the observer.
This is all gobbledygook.
Okay, we're not going to argue with that.
I am.
So let's take a look at this at another video animation of how it applies
Ugh.
from astronomical observations. I turned the sound off because it was annoying.
Okay. First of all, if I were to go outside right now and see these stars, there's no apparent position. That's where it's at. This whole bullshit about the sun being 8 minutes behind the light that gets here is absolutely bunk. So this whole question begging position, not position, apparent position of all of this, like, you have to have the control in order to know the deviation. You have to have the control in order to know what's deviated. There's no deviation out here in the sky. If you watch the sky all night long through either star trails or sky trails, or, you know, star night, whatever, where you can just watch the same point just travel across, there's no that's all you see. I mean, this is just ridiculous. No, sorry.
Now, we have individuals who will say our atmosphere is not layered. Yeah, officially it's not a structured, hard boundary layered surface. It progressively refracts down through it, progressively gets, for the most part, denser. In the
Okay, hold on.
lowest atmosphere, where
He says for the most part, it gets denser. In what way? I mean, you have the air pressure, right? The air pressure gets less and less and less. So the air pressure increases as you go down. But what is it exactly you're saying is increasing as we, like, this is not the way. The star does not come down. This is a diagram of curvature because the Earth is curved. So he's begging the question as far as I can tell.
the sun warms the surface of our Earth, and that energy radiates back up through. This area really is called, well, it's diurnal in nature. Twice a day, you know, it alternates, flips back around, and the density changes dramatically in that layer. It does not follow the generalization that, you know, from
You're not showing us anything, Bill. Look, Bill, you're not showing us anything. You're just describing something that I have to imagine, and I'm even lost as to what you're talking about right now.
outside of the, or above the height of where the surface of our world is affecting that lower atmosphere, then there is a generalized trending into less dense atmosphere. It starts at a point though. It's not down here. You cannot generalize the lower area. You can generalize, you know, the air above it. So I'll continue with the video here. We can see that an actual path of light from the star to the individual results in a perceived change in where that star actually is, or where an object on the...
Like, look, this diagram needs to exist in nature. We don't have an apparent position of the star and the actual position of the star in nature. We do not have that. I mean, we're kind of like reverse engineering where the fish is, right? I mean, like, what's the practical purpose of differentiating between actual position and apparent? What is the practical purpose and application for even bringing this up?
surface of our world would appear to be from an observer due to refraction. You know, we are judging where something is, or interpreting where something is, or surveying where something is, based on how that light makes it to us. So while I've been debating individuals lately, an individual threw out the term Eikonal equation for optics.
Which I've
And
never
this
heard
would
of.
be what anyone grinding.
By the way, I've never heard of that term, nor have I come across it in Andrew Thomas Young. So, I mean, what is this related to?
Lenses, anyone in the optics field would take and they would apply a mathematical equation so that they could figure out what they would need to do to achieve a desired goal. You would have a thickness of the lens, which would be the length of the light's path through the lens, and you would have to introduce either angling of the surface, convex, concave, optical lens shapes, in order to redirect the light for the desired goal. You can also add internal variations in optical density along with the lenses, the shape of the lenses, to produce different effects. And I'm sure there are real scientists out there, or physics majors that can take and calculate and know exactly how to structure the medium that they need to project or view light through in order to achieve the goal that they're trying to achieve.
So my question right now is, why are we talking about lenses when we're talking about air? The air is not convex. The air is not concave. It's not a lens, right? I mean, the only thing that I can justify in saying this is that water particulates that you can't even see right now between the camera and my nose, water particulates are so small that those are probably, as close to a perfect circle as you possibly could get. Whatever those particulates of gas, oxygen, nitrogen, whatever's in our air is water, but in a very, 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 very fine mist. And if they're droplets, then they have concavity to them and convexity. That is, on the inside, it's concave, and on the outside, it's convex. But that's not what we're talking about here, because even the water droplets are going to be spherical, not lensical. I hope this gets to something interesting.
And so common applications would be ray tracing. I just brought up ray tracing.
You cannot trace rays. You can draw pictures of what you think is doing. That's not tracing anything, man.
This is where we have a problem. And I will explain that problem as we go. Seismology, numerical models. This basically comes down to how this formula, this calculus formula, is utilized. Is it being utilized properly? We know that people who make telescopes or magnifying glasses, any optics, okay, we know they're using it correctly. So how about the ray tracers? Yeah, we can really get into that now. I'm going to bring up a Word document here, which covers some of the individuals I've been having the latter conversations with. And yes, I am engaging Walter Bislin in conversation. Walter wrote, "It does not require a curved atmosphere to bend horizontal light beams toward the denser part, if that is what you mean." I've never mentioned anything about a curved atmosphere.
You just showed a picture, a graphic. You just showed a little short graphic from YouTube's. The curvature of the light through the atmosphere. That is because the Earth is a sphere in their model, Bill. That's why Walter is talking about this. That's terrestrial refraction. The Earth is curved, therefore the light has to curve around the Earth. So however far away you get from the Earth, that's the curvature of the light that's going all around you. That's why I said earlier, when I saw what was happening, when you could see the layers that they show you, and then the bending of it, the only reason why they say that it bends in an arc is because the Earth is curved. That's why he asked the question. No matter if you didn't say it, because that's the implication, in my opinion.
The only thing I've mentioned is that any path of light that is traveling from one location to another is either going to experience a change in density along that path, or it's not.
I mean, look, you have to show us what you're talking about, man. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about.
If it changes along that path, it will refract. And it can either refract on a single bend or a progressive bend.
Please show me that.
Again, we will get back to
Please show me that.
the derivative. If light is traveling and it hits a small pocket of change, slight, it can refract at an angle. If light hits a progressive section of optical density change, then it will continue to bend based on an iconical equation. It will bend in something that's similar to a curve. But upon
Please show us this. Like, Bill, if you believe what you're saying right now, please show us, me, talking about in nature, man. Because if you're just saying that that's what's happening in the air above, this is all just
exiting that duration of change, preceding entering that duration of change in IOR, that light was moving in a straight path, and once it hits a...
Wait, light was moving in a straight path? Like, wait, what? You have a light bulb that is radiating, radius, radiate, right? If you have an axis and you have a circumference and then you have spokes connecting those two things, those spokes are traces of rays from the radius, from the axis. But when light radiates out, I mean, are you going to argue for an infinitesimal amount of fiber optic rays of light just going everywhere? Because they're not physical, for one thing. I mean, they are, but they're not tangibly physical. Yeah, I mean, look, man, I have a lot of appreciation for Bill's tenacity, but I don't see the relevance in any of this up to this point. There's zero so far because, again, we've seen nothing in nature yet. These are all just diagrams.
A stable atmosphere of no change, it will continue in a straight path. So if we take light traveling, first, this is structured just like our atmosphere for descriptive purposes. Okay, our atmosphere stacks vertically. These individuals will talk about the vertical lapse rate.
So just for instance, for myself right now, I don't know that there are 7 layers of the atmosphere. I don't know that. If we look at our existence as frequency, vibration, and energy, EVFs, energy, vibration, and frequency, then I mean, if we talk about the gradient of air pressure or the gradient of temperature, I suppose that you could conventionally divide where you have more severe transitions. So, like, for instance, the 6.5 kilometers that is allowed for the gradient to remain stable, right? As far as I can recall off the top of my head, it's 6.5 kilometers of altitude. That's all the fucking same. There's no standard atmosphere refraction. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I just whatever.
The lapse rate, the vertical rate of change, the vertical gradient. Okay, no one is disagreeing that the air well above the surface of our world is less optically dense than the air at the surface.
Stop.
Is the air well above that the air well above the surface of our world is less optically dense than the air at the surface.
Okay.
Okay, but the rate of change would be light moving.
What I want to bring up real quick about this is that if you look up the Greek mythology and the Greek terms for this, the ether is that higher air where the gods breathe, right? Humans can't breathe that air. You can't even get up there. That's where their gods breathe. Erebus is the pollution, right? So what Bill is talking about right now is the clarity that we can see higher and higher and higher, so that they basically see if you're looking straight up, you've got zero refraction. I don't think that's true, but you have less. So that as you go farther and farther and farther and farther and farther down, you can actually even see, if you're paying attention, the gradation of the polarization of light, right? So we had a beautiful sunrise this morning that was just clear and white at the horizon, and then it got gradually more and more blue, but then it turned to indigo and then black as you went farther and farther west, right? But you could watch and see the gradation of light. So you can talk about it that way, but that's up there. It's like at what point are you going to, when does indigo become purple? Yes. When does yellow become, yes. When does red become, yes. When does orange, yes. There's
down through that rate of change, not moving perpendicular to it or parallel with the supposed layers. And our atmosphere is not that defined as being rigid in, a very specific.
That's what I said.
As a very specific IOR. We're diurnal. We're transitional through the day. Our weather moves in and out. It moves across us. We experience changes based on wind pattern, cloud cover.
All right. Let's get them.
And the norm. So yes, you would have to apply Fermat's principle, okay, and eventually getting around to that Connell equation. Yes, you would. But you have to justify the medium is appropriate for you to apply it. You cannot just grab a measurement from anywhere and assume that it is continuous across all paths across the atmosphere. Okay, that is an incorrect thought process.
The only way this is going to be solved is to be commissioned to put in the research that he's addressing right now. Because all we're going to be doing now is just copying and pasting back and forths. Nuh-uh, yeah-huh, 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 nuh-uh. It's 8 years. 8 years of bupkis. We have plenty of observational research. Plenty of observational, not only that, but also of primary measurements with Sky Free and all of their micro observations. But we don't have a amalgamation of all of our research together. Those of you out there who know how to manifest, those of you out there who know how to finance, like I've met people who know people that are just dripping in money. Where I live right now is absolutely just wealthy beyond imagination per capita per se, because if you look at the town here, the town has low income people all throughout. It's not like it's one neighborhood and that's just, they're everywhere. And the remaining areas have acres and acres, like hundreds of acres of land and mansions, just the wealth that's here. There is plenty of money out there for us to raise to get this research done, because we've already done a lot of the goddamn research ourselves for free, per se. I'd like to be remunerated for all of my work in the past. But none of this is going to go anywhere until we start getting actual documentation as best we can of being out in the corridor. But I don't think this is going to be anything more than what he's doing right now. It is what
Our
it is.
atmosphere does not structure indefinitely the way you are applying the math to. You might find a short.
All this is
distance
from Bill is a
equation,
all he's doing right now is
but it
nut-ing.
is not without duration. I'm going to jump over to Wally's website here. So this program basically works by supposing a curved path of light.
All right. I'm going to let Bill finish, but what I'm going to try to say right now is this is the point that I was making earlier with the floor going into the distance. How you diagram distance, because it gets more and more compressed the farther and farther away you go. So this space here is equal to this space here physically, but not optically, right? This space is a mile. This space is a mile, a mile, a mile, a mile, and now the amount of miles here that fit in here are now 10 to 20 times. When you get here, it's like 50 to 100 times the distance here. For instance, I'm saying eye level. He says eye level. That's bullshit. Show me this. Like, this is no. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, whatever. Bill is doing this for Bill's reasons, but this is completely irrelevant in any of this discussion whatsoever right now.
Light based on a specific path of change, whether it's a meter or it really doesn't clarify the overall distance.
Just like someone would say, oh, if there was a mountain here, right? And then they can't see the base of the mountain, so that's curvature. You can't see in front of the base of the mountain for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles because of the angle at which you're looking. You know? In the same way, let me say it this way. This is basically what I hear and what I'm going to repackage. You can't mean to tell me that there are tens of miles in this amount of space. You can't be serious. Can you? Are you serious? I can't see it. Oh no? You can't? Okay, well, let's pretend like this is the view from the sky and you're the eye in the sky and you're looking down at the ground, all right? And we're just going to position you right above this point right here. And if you lower, let's say, for instance, you're a mile high in the sky, you're a mile high. And as you lower, right, because you're looking down at the earth, right? You're looking down. And now as you start to drop down, the earth goes like this. So now all the stuff that you could see clearly below you like this changes. And the stuff that's farther away from you is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. That's not curvature. the amount of space here is the same amount of space here.
Or duration of change that the calculations are made. In fact, when it's all said and done, that's really irrelevant. Okay, if someone is trying to justify a curved path of light as being refraction, they're justifying that.
Regardless if I agree with Bill, this is not helpful. This is not nature. This is Walter Bislin's diagramming. This is not nature. I don't see any point in any of this. 22, we're only halfway through.
That path of light is limitless as far as its arc length. Again, I just
gotta
think
go
I've
check
covered
my
this.
fire. Lolly. 8 o'clock. Oh, hey, Paul. Sorry, I didn't see you. Are you still here? I was going to watch your video, this video in a minute.
Our atmosphere is not structured across the horizontal path for that to be even considered possible. The lowest of probabilities that a weather phenomena could move in that makes that happen for you does not warrant your model of refraction being the standard, your program being something that.
Yeah, all right, no worries, man. Let me know if you want me to say something or address something, or if I'm being too much of a dick.
On the belief.
But your last couple of videos, man.
What we view, what we experience.
My gosh.
Always moves in a curved path.
I don't even know what to say, man.
I reject that in full.
Oh, wait, hold, wait.
In our world, our real world, on the belief that light in our world, our real world, what we view, what we experience, always moves in a curved path, then all is lost. I reject that in full. I know when it's appropriate and when it's not appropriate, and this is not appropriate.
Okay, so I'm a little bit lost. So, Paul, if you can listen to this back again, I don't know, maybe you can help me. I'm going to listen to it again.
Again, I just think I've covered this, that our atmosphere is not structured across the horizontal path for that to be even considered possible. The lowest of probabilities that a weather phenomena could move in that makes that happen for you does not warrant your model of refraction being the standard, your program being something that.
Okay, hold on.
Could move in that makes that happen for you does not warrant your model of refraction being the path or as far as its arc length. Again, I just think I've covered this, that.
See, I don't even know what you're saying. I've had to listen to this like 5 times.
Across the horizontal path for that to be even considered possible. The lowest of probabilities that a weather phenomena could move in that.
The lowest of probabilities that a weather phenomenon can, like, what are you talking about, man? This is not clear. I'm going to watch Paul's video. Sorry. That is just not clear. That was not fun. All right. Was this 3 days ago? Must have been on a different page. Well, I just go here. Well, we could watch this one because this was an amazing one, right? Yeah. Oh, Paul. Beautiful, man. Look, man, Is the 101 freeway, Paul? Is the 101 freeway up here? And then this is just being refracted down, and this is being refracted up, right? Because you have the mirage right here. There's my little alligator mouth, but you've got only the top part. And then, so when we have the visual of the 101, we would have to have maybe at least 4 different frames. But if I could implore you on so many different levels, but I know you're busy and you got your stuff to do, man. Man, can you imagine being in this house? Like, whose house is that? Look at that, man. And that tree. This area is so beautiful. I miss it, man. I need to get back so bad. But all right. I would like to ask you, please, before you start filming, to set your camera to open up at the focal length of, like, say 50 millimeters or 53, which is what we basically can see with our eyes, right? That's all 53 millimeters. So then if you just frame it that way in a wide angle, not zooming in like this, I want a wide angle, because what we have to do is take note of the wide angle refraction where things are displaced, right? Because if you take a wide angle from Mesa Lane all the way over to as far as you can with, I don't even know how far the field of view would be, Paul. If you did wide angle, how many of the platforms would be in your field of view, and how much of Goleta will, fit? So I'm talking about doing a wide angle, snapshot, click, that's it. And then when you zoom in like this and you stop, which is probably the full optical, just click. And then send me those day after day after day, just those. Just open up, click, just open up, click, just one picture of this. Because otherwise I'm going into this video and trying to frame it and stop it right where it looks like it's the same as the other video. And it's just crazy work. But you know what I mean? Like, if you look at this, it's like this is crazy. The water stops, there's the land, but this is the shoreline here, 6 miles away. And then this is land that is 26 miles away. But when you get down here, all bets are off, man. All bets are off. And I love what, look at these little ants on the beach, man. These people. All right. So this is my point. What color is the hat that the guy standing next to the wood? You can't see these things. If you were another mile away from this and it was still there in your line of sight, if you were another mile away from this and this was in your line of sight, you wouldn't be able to see these people. That's not curvature. That's perspective and distance and the condition of the medium through which you're looking. So what we're doing right now, right, as we're moving from Mesa Lane, as Paul starts to pan, this is distance. This is going farther and farther and farther away from you. Now, here's the question that you need to consider for yourself, because this is what you believe, certain person out there who's listening to the sultry sound of my voice right now. This point on the water right here is not the same distance away from you as this point. I'll take a kick to both shins with pointy boots for that one. And then if you pan out, that point over there is not the same as that point over there, even though it looks like it's the same horizon, which it is. That's the same horizon, but that's not the same distance, the same point all the way across. But as we are moving south visually, this is farther and farther and farther and farther away. And it's just farther and farther and farther away. So now, compared, like, look, Paul, the amount of obstruction in this frame right here, right? There is no tree. There is no 200-foot elevation. There's no tree at 200-foot elevation that we can see. So what's happened right now in terms of what I was trying to say, Paul, if this is going to make sense, I'll try to be as clear as I can with proximate looming. You can clearly see that the floor of the the surface of the water, the floor, I mean, I don't know, you can clearly see. To me, it's like, I can't not see it. I can't not see it. This is a magnified floor that is brought closer to you. And then that thing in the background is also affected by the condition of the medium. And the land in the back is dropped down, which could mean as what, maybe it was Bill, or no, it was Wide Awake, who maybe said that there is a conjoining of both magnification, so that the background land is magnified and brought closer to you, which would mean that it would have to parallax. These two things are going to cause parallax. So if you go out, and here's the Hogan or Houchin, whichever one's first, I can't remember. Houchin? I'm going to say Houchin. So you can see Houchin. You can't see Houchin here. It's like right here. Like that much is gone. Like, 2/3 of Houchin is gone. That doesn't even make sense on the globe because that's too much space to be missing. So there's too much missing. Oh, but that's refraction. But so proximate looming is the magnification, the raising up of the floor so that I can show you on my proof of concept. But that's what I was trying. This is magnified and this is magnified in two different frames, and it's brought together so that you cannot. So if the tree is up here and then the Houchin's here, and then you have magnification, it's just going to drop like those things. Like the thing is that we would have to possibly start filming at the beginning of the day. But you would have to have, I would imagine that this is going to be the same thing all day long because I've been here and I've done that. But when you're in an area like Paul in Australia, plain reality, he has such conditions that will change from sinking or inferior mirage to looming in the same day. And I don't think that I've ever had that. But my point is that if you could start with this, start filming and then keep filming until this changes so that you have a fully exposed Houchin and a fully exposed 101 freeway, and you could film it happening, that's what we need. But these petulant, recalcitrant little children who want to hold on to their globe, they just don't want to understand. They don't want. This is not hard. This is not difficult. I'm going to tell you something real quick, Bobby Shafto. If I could prove your world existed, I would do it, man. I would absolutely. I have no dog in this fight except for the fact that this bitch ain't curved. I that's just the simple facts. I've tried to find it. There's no concavity. It looks concave. There's no convexity. It never looks convex. It does look concave. Oh, what do you mean, Travel? I'll tell you what I mean. If you are standing, or no, if you are, yeah, whatever. If you are on the deck of a ship, or if you are in the middle of the desert, and you look out into the distance, you are looking for, let's just pretend to put your head down, see your feet, right? You can see your feet. Raise your eyes. You're looking across the floor, the ground, the ground, the ground, the ground, the ground, the ground. Your eyes are raising, right? You're raising your eyes physically, and they are looking out into the distance. I forgot what I was saying. Forgot what I was saying. All right. Yeah, this is great. Beautiful. And so then, oh, is this the next one? No, that was me. I meant to do this. Okay, so I have not watched the Big Mouth Boat Pan yet, so I'm looking forward to this, man. 6 minutes even. So when I have seen captures like this with the people that far away, it makes me think of Gulliver's Travels and how these are Lilliputians, right? These are little people, and I'm Gulliver because I'm big, and look how small they are. These are Who's. That's Whoville down there. Look at all those people. I love that. Look at these guys standing right there. Look at that. That is crackalicious, man. I'm going frame by frame. Is that? No, those are waves. I was trying to see if there's something that would be amazing to get a clear shot so that we could see the Nike emblem. I just want to see the Nike emblem. That's all. Oh, you know what I could do? 4K, baby. Well, there's a boat. There was a sailboat coming around the Cape there. So now you've got a marker here and a marker there. Yeah. Slow down, Paul. Now you've got hull down. Man, look at that thing. That thing is rocking. Where'd that bird come from? There we go. Big mouth boat. So, okay, hold on. I'm just going to pan out. All right. Ventura is right here, right? This is the sky. That's Houchin. That's the Pacific Ocean. This is California. The 101 freeway is right here. It's all condensed. It's all compressed right there because remember, it's magnification bringing two different things into frame. And so then you have the disappearance of this, right? So you have this brown here. And then on top of the brown, it's a dark purple or whatever. But then it comes down here and goes and is gone. And now this is here. And then this, like if you didn't know what this was, what's this little blue spot? What is that? And then this is a mountain range that comes down and ends here. Why does it visually stop? Why does it visually stop right here? Why is this like this visually? Why is this like this visually? Why is this like this visually? It's all the same answer. It's the condition of the medium through which you were looking. If these conditions were different and Paul were out here taking a video, you could see Ventura. You can't see it now. It's not below the curve. It's right there. Here's Ventura. Here's Paul. The reason why you can't see Ventura is because there is an optical obstruction of the polarization of the refraction of light through the condition of the medium through which you're looking. It's not very difficult. But I think it was the other pan that you did where a lot of these platforms were severely cut off. So the thing that I want to just bring up right here is the same issue that I was addressing before when the proponents of the Globe Flake Science Warrior Club, where we can't see the bottom of this platform. And when we explain that this is the beginning of the mirage, and then this is the end right here. So you have right here just a small little section right there. That much. And they go, how can this much of the platform be compressed? That there's no way that doesn't fit in that kind of space. You're not looking at a two-dimensional representation of reality. The point at which the water stops right here is closer to Paul than it is to the platform per se. I don't know. I'm just saying this is not right here. When you see the water stop right here, it's not at the base of the platform. So then if this, right, if this is where the water stops for you, if this is where the water stops and the platform is back here, but you see the end of the water here, the water is not right next to the platform. The water is out here and the platform is back here. So then there's all of this distance between the last vestiges of the surface of the water right there, and it stops, and then it's an acute angle of distance, but this right here is all the mirage. That surface is the mirage. And the mirage can sometimes be very, very obtuse, and it can be very, very acute. But it is all like, this is the distance, right? Okay, here we go. Here you go. You ready? You're Paul. and I'm the platform. Okay. So when you can't see me anymore like this, what's happening is the earth is not raising up. This is what happens when refraction comes through the medium. It does shit like this. It raises up. What are you talking about? Look, it's in your science, man. Look up Andrew Thomas Young. Look at the way he models the floor for sinking. Look at the way he models the floor for an inferior mirage. And then look at the floor for how he models looming, and they don't look like the same floor. Why not? He doesn't even really tell you that very well. You have to deduce it for yourself, because he doesn't come out and say to you, this is all hypothetical bullshit that I'm just diagramming because we don't know how to fucking do this. I have that in an email from Andrew Thomas Young. I don't know how to science this. And so I'm just drawing diagrams where we should be having Paul's footage or my footage or whoever else's footage from reality presented in science, not pictures of triangles that don't exist in nature.
And a go peak. Upper floor. Husky.
All right, so now Houchin and Hogan. So Hogan's the first one, right? So here we go. Everyone, please pay attention. This is so very simple. The mountain round comes down and then comes back in on itself in an inversion. This is an inferior mirage, okay? This part right here below, right here, all the way across, that is not the island. That is not the land. That is not land. That is in this area here, and over here, right here is the mirage for the platform. And if I continue past now into that's now mirage, not the mountain. This is not the mountain apparently touching the water visually out there. That's okay. So then now if you're looking out, this is now the orthographic view. You're now looking at an orthographic view across this way. So now you have the tapered, right? Because you can see earlier, we saw the tapering off of the land over here, and we saw the tapering off of the land over here. Everything that's smaller and farther away than this mountain right here, you can't see. There's no higher mountain beyond this mountain that's visible right now during these conditions. However, Paul has other conditions where you can absolutely see where Camarillo lies, where Oxnard lies. Well, actually, you have Oxnard over there where you've got the power plant. But regardless, this is Ventura. And yeah. So this is actually the same area of Ventura, right? Yeah, I can't remember if Paul. No, because when you pan this way, isn't it where you say that that's where the Oxnard power plant is? That's on 5th Street. So that's so then Camarillo is way down that way. Regardless, this point right here, that's infinity. The reason why you can't see mountains in this area right now, even though there are ranges higher than this, you can't see them right now because of the condition of the medium.
The tree.
Our tree looked like it was a bit
Light-colored water.
more
Is this the wind
obscure.
line?
Oh no, you got the
The boat's in that wind line. So is that one?
ah.
Or it's just less wind.
Look, you've got this vertical
Another
mast.
beautiful day.
Yeah, right there. Like, see right there? That's what I'm talking about in terms of this. Like, I think that we would have to take a picture of this. And because, again, I mean, think about it. There's the tree. If this were a different day and you took this snapshot, all of this would be in a different place. This is the whole thing with the Walter Bislin eye level bullshit with the theodolites and whatnot, right? This stuff moves up and down. What I'm saying is if Paul got a theodolite, or actually, you know what you could do, Paul, if you have the gumption. I mean, I could send you the scope that I bought. You could buy a scope and then just easily mount it on your tripod and then demonstrate where eye level is, right? And what you would then do is you would then find that the land is moving up and down, both higher than eye level and lower than eye level. That's not curvature.
Over and out.
All right. Well, this was an amazing lame stream. I put an announcement out like 5 hours ago, and 2 people showed up. Just don't get it, man. Don't get it. All right. I'm going to wrap this up. Adios.